And welcome to Book Marketing Pro Academy's brand new series called the Take Action Challenge. I am super excited about it, and I hope you are too, because we want to move forward in our marketing for our books. So if you're joining me today, would you please say hello in the chat? If you have any questions, I'll be watching. I think I'm most excited about this challenge because I'm going to do it with you. Well, I say I am, but I'm hoping I am. So good to see you, Anne and Kathy and Debbie. So thanks for joining me. I'm just going to jump right in and we're going to chat about this because I am just excited that you're here and you're ready to take action. So whether you're watching it live or you're watching it later on, hopefully you can really do all you need to do to take that next step. So this is taking action, not just on marketing your book, but we have to take the step back. We are really stewarding our message, but we have to understand why this even matters. And so whether your book is already published, which many of you have, or you're still waiting for launch day, which a few of you are preparing for that, one thing is true for all of us, that your story, your message, your voice deserves to be heard. And marketing is simply how we create that pathway for it to happen. So let's be honest. So be honest with me in the chat. How many of you would rather write the next chapter of your book than write a post on social media? Is there anyone out there? We'd rather dive into the content of our book than really dive into strategies. But if no one ever hears about your book, I agree, all of you, yes. If we don't have something where they can hear about our book, how are they going to know it exists? So marketing, of course, is not just about selling books, but it's about reaching people, your specific reader that we identify all the time when we talk through something like this. The one who is searching for the hope or the truth or the encouragement that your book offers. I noticed today on our social media page for Redemption Press, Shelley puts those posts together and it said something about your message may have been heard before, but not by you. So make sure you keep showing up. You show up faithfully, intentionally, and consistently so your message doesn't get buried under all of the noise. Okay, so let's put some perspective around this. Why is investing your time, your resources, and even your money crucial to your success? We have this group that we are all part of together, Book Marketing Pro Academy, the BMA, and we try to make it as affordable as possible so that we can help you on this journey, because this journey is hard. But did you know that the average successful author spends 7 to 10 hours per week on just marketing? The average successful author spends 7 to 10 hours. So in the chat, if you're thinking about it, what do you think is the amount of time you spend marketing your book? Now, some of you, if you have more books or you have a bigger ministry, obviously that time is expanded, but this is for someone who has one book on the market, 7 to 10 hours. So that's about 1 to 2 hours a day of purposeful effort, not random scrolling, but real focused action. So how many hours a week do you feel you spend focused on getting your message out there? Also, most authors invest, are you ready for this? Between $150 and $500 a month, sometimes even more, depending on where they are in the journey. So these types of investments include your website and domain. Those all cost money. Your email marketing software. We want to build our email, but it costs money. Design tools like Canva. You do subscriptions, social scheduling platforms, courses, coaching that you are taking, like you invest in Book Marketing Pro Academy, launch services, advertising, all of those things, traveling expenses, printing promotional activity, content, and collateral items. Now, you don't need to spend all that today. That's not what this challenge is about. But what I want you to start thinking What I want you to do is start really thinking like an author who treats their message like it actually matters, because it does. The Take Action Challenge is about helping you build the first or perhaps the next layer of a foundation that will work for you, for your book, and for your audience. Many of you have started doing certain things in your process, but sometimes we have to have that reminder of we need to focus on the one thing or maybe two things so that we can really create momentum. So whether you've been stuck, you've been overwhelmed, or you just didn't know where to start, this is your next step. So if you were to write in the chat, do you feel like you are stuck, overwhelmed, or are you just like doing the next thing because you've been continuing in your marketing journey? So stuck, overwhelmed, or doing the next thing. And yes, and treat your message like it matters. I love that. Faith feels overwhelmed, and I could see that because she has a new little one at home. So that's a lot, having two children, one that needs her attention full time. Actually, probably your son does too. Kathy says uneducated, but courses every day. Not overwhelmed, but definitely a lot going on for Anne. And so that's what this is all about. Here's what we're going to do. Over the next 8 weeks, we're going to take one simple action at a time, leading to a focused, clear day, summer, or 90-day plan for you to leverage one primary area, and perhaps, if you need to or you want to, a secondary area that will help you move forward in your marketing. And for today, I will tell you that we are going to help you walk through this every single step. It's not done for you, but we're going to be right by your side with you so that you will find success if you put the time and the creative energy needed into this plan. So it starts right now with one question, and this is where we're going to focus today as well as in our coaching on Saturday. And we have to start with assessing, because if we don't assess where we are, we're not going to be able to know how we can take that next step. So part one, which is today, is assess your presence. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Oh, I think I can stay back here. There we go. Okay. Over the next 8 weeks, we are building towards a customized, just for you, because you're going to be the one creating it, doable plan to help you reach your reader in that one area. But before we go forward, we need to identify those places where we are starting from. We want to know where we are showing up first, and that is the most foundational step that we can begin with. You can't grow what you don't know. So visibility is more than just being on social media. I always say social media is for awareness. It's not necessarily for selling books. So we're going to look at our full sphere of influence, both online and offline. So I'm going to go through 2 very specific categories today, and then add a bonus one at the very end. So we have first our digital presence. So what does it actually mean to show up digitally? When we talk about digital presence, we're not just talking about having an account. We're talking about the ways in which you actively engage in those accounts, how you represent yourself, and how you connect with your reader online. So there are 5 ways that I'm going to share with you. There's others as well, but here are 5 ways that you can have a digital presence. So here's the first one. You are sharing content. So you are actively posting, emailing, or blogging in ways that encourage, it will educate, and it will inspire your audience. So some examples of that are using Instagram posts, weekly email, blog articles, anything where you are actively sharing some content. Then the second thing is you are inviting interaction. So that means that you're asking questions, you're replying to comments. You're not just asking questions and just leaving it hanging and then asking them another question without actually engaging with them. You can share polls. You can send DMs that spark conversations to people that seem interested. You can create a space for your audience to engage. You really want to invite that interaction. If you're going to be on social media, if you're going to be doing blogs and having people respond to them and leave comments for you, we want to make sure that we are responding quickly and with appropriate content back to them that makes them recognize that they are seen. The third thing is, are you representing your brand clearly? So this means your bio, your photos, your about section, anything on your website reflect who you are and what you do. So people can really tell what your message is and who it's for. So you want to make sure you have an updated website bio, a link in your bio with your freebie, your Amazon author profile. A lot of times that goes overlooked with our book up there because things happen and we forget that we actually have information on our Amazon account that people are looking at when they buy our book. So leverage that and make sure that it is all up to date. Then number 4, oh, I think I'm on number 5. I pushed too many buttons. Okay. You're showing up, you're building trust through value. So you're showing up each and every time with helpful insights, personal stories, resources, without always asking for something in return. Athena always talks about it. It's the 5-to-1 rule. We give, we give, we give, we give, we give, we ask. And then we give some more, and then we ask. So examples are your lead magnet, that can be used, a devotional download, a YouTube teaching, anything that brings your reader some value. We want to build trust. It's the whole idea of they need to get to know you. So you have to have your information up to date. They start to like you because you begin to interact with them. And now they trust you because you've given them some resources that are speaking truth into their life. Know, like, trust. My husband says it all the time in marketing. And then the last one is you are pointing people to a next step. What is your call to action? Whether it's joining your list, buying your book, inviting you to speak, your digital spaces may include clear, intentional call to action, whether it's done through email, social media, in your blog, on your website. Have a clear call to action. So where are those places that you can show up digitally? Here's just a few, and I'm sure you will have many more when you think through all the different places that you are. Your website is actually one of the most important. Please do not go to mine because it is in process of being switched over. The social media, so Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok, wherever it is you are on social media. And then email lists. So of course you have your email. Newsletter, then podcasts. So you could be your own podcast or be on as a guest. Blogs and articles. Those are a great way to leverage and get out there in the digital space. And then your author Amazon account, Author Central, and Goodreads, any place where you have created an account where your information lives, make sure that it is up to date. We're going to talk about that in my third point. Kind of getting ahead of myself. Okay, then we have, so that's the digital space that we need to kind of evaluate. Where am I and how is my engagement there? Is that a place? Now we'll be thinking through this as we walk through this process in our coaching. Is that a space that is going well enough that I could leverage it? Or should I look somewhere else because it's really falling flat? Or maybe it's falling flat because you haven't engaged. We'll see. So the next one is the presence that we have in person. This is my favorite kind of presence, and maybe it is yours. So let me know in the chat, are you a digital person and that's where you prefer, or do you like in-person interaction, or do you kind of like both? But what would be your preference if you could only pick one? So your in-person preference is not just about selling books. It's about being visible, building relationships, and living your message in the real world. So it often starts pretty natural when you recognize it. And then once you do, you can begin to intentionally steward it instead of the natural reactions that come as we just interact in person in different places that we are a part of. And again, we'll go into more detail about what these look like in our coaching. But the first one is to You're involved in a community. So you're involved in a you're part of a group, whether it's formally or informally, where people know you, trust you, and listen to you when you speak. It could be at your church, in a small group, in some type of a club. Maybe it's your parent teacher organization at your school, a volunteer team, some kind of community outreach that you're part of. Wherever you are, and I want to suggest that no matter where you think you need to be, everyone needs to have some type of connection in person to something that really fosters the audience that they have and the message that you have. So being involved in a community is super important. The second thing that you need to evaluate is your teaching, leading, or sharing. So you're already speaking into the lives of others through perhaps you get speaking engagements, sharing your story, teaching, mentoring. Even if it's not about your book, you still have that audience there. So you might be leading a Bible study. You might be teaching at an event or a women's brunch or retreat. You may be mentoring someone or a group of someone's that you meet with regularly. Where are you showing up in your teaching, leading, and sharing? Number 3, there we go. You may be invited to speak or participate in certain places. So you've been asked to share at events. Maybe you've been asked to teach or host a workshop. You've been asked to be at a book club. So there's a group in your area that's doing that. And so you've gone to be a guest there, on a panel, being an expert in a certain area. So you could speak at maybe MOPS, or you read a book at the school if you're a children's author, or an author guest for a school system, obviously on a panel because you feel like you have some expertise to bring to the group. Number 4 is who are you having meaningful conversations with? You're encouraging others one-on-one and often in ways that perhaps go along with your book's message or story. Typically that comes out of us, and we oftentimes connect with people who are related to our story. And so those types of connections can happen in coffee shops, in prayer groups, in the workplace, in the church, like events that we have that we're not necessarily a speaker of, but we're there just connecting, conferences, places like that, where you can have conversations with people that actually resonate with your message. And then evaluate whether what you're already known for. So you are known for something. People associate you with a specific theme, message, or role, whether it's encouragement, leadership, faith, a personal testimony. You're a teller of stories. You have walked through a certain journey, and so people associate you with a journey. Perhaps you have walked through an illness of some sort, or you have a child who is struggling in a certain area, and so people know you. Or like Debbie, like a pastor's wife. I mean, what are you known for in your community? So those are the 2 main places you can show up digitally. So how is that working for you? And then you can show up, you can also show up in person. All right. Will there be a write out of these things? Sure. I can figure that out for you. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put it in the handout for Saturday. Okay. The next thing is the final space that we, and then some places you can show up in person. Sorry, I forgot about this one. Church involvement, speaking engagements, book clubs, schools, libraries, workplace, volunteer organizations, community groups, friends and family networks. Don't negate your friends and family. Don't negate the people you know, because those are the people who can really help you to find the people that you can associate with. So friends and family networks is huge to connect us. Then we have the underrated spaces. So these are things that you may not have thought about, but they definitely are visible, but you may have overlooked them. So here are some places to focus in on your presence. First one, they're all there. Okay, your email signature. Make sure that your email signature is up to date. Signatures are super important. We have a course called Branding in the platform for BMA, and you can take that course, and when you take it, it will lead you through all the steps you need for branding, and you will end up with an email signature that is appropriate for your brand. As I said earlier, your bio on your platforms, make sure they are up to date. And another reason why they need to be up to date is because people, when you connect with them, let's say you're going to speak for an event, they will go to your website and get your bio. And if your bio is up to date, they may give wrong information. And I have done that before with speakers who I went on their website, got their information, and it was not up to date. So these are places where people see you. Facebook comments or groups that you frequent, guest teaching at a Bible study. Perhaps you have a family member with a large following that's willing to share your work. We have one author whose son has a huge following, and she happened to tell his story of his wife having cancer and passing in her book. And her book sells like hotcakes because he had a huge following on TikTok as he chronicled his wife's journey and their experience. So here we go. The purpose. The purpose of this inventory and why we're taking this step is not to overwhelm you, but it is to give you, to really empower you, to let you know where you are. Let's see. Nope. Okay. So here are some of the places where this is going to help you. You can, first of all, recognize what you've already built. And then once you do that, we'll be able to identify where to focus. And as we look at our places where we're focusing, we can identify and notice patterns of engagement within that particular area. And that way we can really avoid reinventing the wheel. We can just move forward. And when you see it all in one place, you're going to start to see where your message is already resonating and who it's resonating with. So that is what we are going to really work on Saturday. And so on Saturday, we will sit down and map out your full presence, everything from where you're showing up online to where you're connecting with people in person. You're going to receive a guide that will help you walk through that and those processes. And I'll be there because I'm going to do Saturdays with prompts and encouragement to just help you really identify those places. You can ask questions, you can brainstorm with each other. And by the end, you're really going to have a complete presence inventory. So basically like a snapshot of your visibility that we'll use as a foundation to build the plan that we're going to create. Okay, so this gets even better because we're also going to be getting an 8-week calendar that has a short focused action step every weekday. So these aren't random tasks. These are really designed, each one, to move the needle and build momentum. And every prompt is going to be, we'll have a handout, but we'll also post it in the Facebook group with some additional information so you can follow along, check in, and stay up to date even when things are busy. And basically, usually the question or the prompt will not take very much time. Remember, people who are working on their marketing factor in 1 to 2 hours a day, up to 10 hours a week. If you have one book, if you have more than one book in a ministry, it's probably more than that. But if you have one book, you're focusing at least 8 to 10 hours, 7 to 10 hours a week. And if you do this by the end of the 8 weeks, you're not just going to have a plan, you're going to be able to live it out. So your platform will be aligned, your messaging will be clear, and then the next throughout the summer, so that's our plan to get a 3-month plan, 90 days, will be mapped out with confidence in your primary area of focus. So this isn't everything. This is one thing because we need to do the next thing. We don't need to do everything. And myself, Sarah, Shelly, Athena, Kelly, we're going to be doing it right alongside you. And I'm actually launching a book next fall as well. And so I want to do it with you, real time, real solutions, real movement. Let's take this step together. Let's do it. Let's see how far we can go, because I know so many of you talk about the overwhelm of all the different places that we need to market. And that's why we need to focus on one thing, not everything. Are you with me? All right. Do I have a template you can use to help us work through our assessment? We're going to do it together on Saturday, which is in 2 days. I will have it by then. I don't have it yet. I do have it mapped out. But I am excited. I'm excited to see what God is going to do in each of our areas as we take bold steps, getting our book and our message out there and just seeing what he's going to do. I mean, our message is something that matters to us. And it makes me so sad when I see authors whose book sales are plummeting and they don't sell for months at a time. And I just want to see the message that God's given us go out into the world. And it will only do that if we actually really draw attention to it and allow people to know that it exists. So I'm excited for all of you. I'm glad you're in, Kathy. It's going to be great. And the best part about this is we can all start exactly where we are. We don't have to be doing the same thing that perhaps Anne is doing, because Anne is much further along the journey. She's on like book 4 or 5 right now. So we don't have to be in the same place Anne is. We can be in the place that we are and take our next step to have a great just plan that's going to move us forward. So if you're attending Saturday, help me remember and I will record it. But if you don't help me remember, I will forget to record it, because usually we don't record the coaching. So join us Saturday morning, 9 o'clock Pacific time on Zoom, and can't wait to see you there. Bye for now.